Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer State of Play. Hey, we have Overwatch at home. Let's talk about Concord. Let's talk about the state of the industry here. Well, Sony's looking for their second microtransaction cow, and they're trying to do it by imitating Overwatch. Now, this has happened many times in video game history, where one developer, console maker, tries to copy another one, right? We saw it with Atari and Television, we saw it with Genesis and Super Nintendo, and so on and so forth. Now, the problem here is, guys, that you know that Sony is dedicating a lot of resources to this. They said it themselves. That's what they want to do. They want to have games as a service as a primary driver of revenue. And why is that? It's because the old model isn't working anymore. This AAA 5-year development, $300 million, doesn't give the return on investment that a game with microtransactions has. And of course, us of an older generation don't like that, because we're just, we just don't do microtransactions unless it's something we really love. We're opposed to that kind of stuff. But the newer generation don't mind. That's how they've grown up. Every game has microtransactions on their phones, on their tablets, or pretty much anywhere else they play, right? But they need to adapt, because if you remember, Sony's profit margin is in the dumps. They spend way more money to make a game that they're able to make a good return on. 6%, 7% on an investment, that's less than the bank nowadays. Why would you do that? Why would you put your capital in that? Right? You're just burning money. So you need to put your money somewhere where it's going to make a better return. But I think they could do it in a much wiser way. Let me tell you how. There's other games that you can make that type of microtransactions on. Overwatch has already been perfected. Why go be the Pepsi to somebody else's Coke? Because even though some Overwatch players might like it, it doesn't mean they're going to come in mass to come and play your game. Maybe you'll get some of the Sony players that have never tried Overwatch to play it. But let's face it, the PC players and Microsoft players or Overwatch players are not going to come over in mass just to switch over to this new game, because you're just basically using the same formula. We have Overwatch at home is what you're telling them. And it just doesn't make much sense. There are different ways they can monetize this. Let me tell you. Let me give you an example. What if you had an online Shin Megami Tensei game, for example? Now, I'm not saying they should go with that, but I'm just giving you an example of an alternative of a player base that they already have. They own the Persona games. What if you had an online Persona game with microtransactions that people could play on their PlayStations and on their phones? You would be making money hand over fist. That would be something of what you're looking for. But instead of innovation, they're using imitation. And again, do you want to be the Pepsi to somebody else's Coke? It doesn't seem like a good plan to me. I mean, if you're a third-tier company, fourth-tier company, yeah, maybe. Right? But there's much better ways for you to monetize your business and make a higher profit than 6 or 7%. And let me tell you, I don't think this is going to be it. Can it make money? Sure. But it's not going to make as much money as if you develop a brand new IP. Of all the things that I saw there that I liked was Silent Hill. Right? Not the little robot game, because you know they're going to try to shove it in your pie hole for $70. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? Pay full price for a game that I got for free with a PlayStation. Of course it's a you know, much fuller game and what have you. But if you're asking for top-notch price, that's going to be a hard sell. I got Mario at home, the real Mario. Now the callbacks and everything else are fine. You know, the Easter eggs I think are pretty cool. But that still doesn't justify a price of $70. And making new IPs that are just poor imitations of existing ones isn't going to be the way to go. You know, if you've learned anything from these console wars that have gotten to court now, whether it's Microsoft, Nintendo, PlayStation, people are more faithful to their platform than they are to their mates. If you play PlayStation, you stay PlayStation, if that's the only thing you have. And you know, that's a video that I'm gonna make this weekend, hopefully, if I have the time. I sprained my wrist, so I have it wrapped up right now, and I really wanted to make an edited video for that subject, which is you know, what happened to the Xbox, and I want to go much deeper in a different route. But coming back to PlayStation, this tells me that the acquisition of you know, Activision Blizzard was a heavier hit that then laid on. That's why they fought it so much. That's why, you know, they did everything they did to stop that sale, because it would affect their business negatively. But I don't think this is the way to go. There's such a rich history in PlayStation. There's such a rich history of new game development. There's such a rich history of you being number one that you don't have to imitate anybody else. You don't have to imitate Activision. You don't have to imitate Microsoft. You can develop your own IPs because you're number one in the market. Almost 5-to-1. If you give customers a good original product, they will stay with you. They will reward you with their money. That has been proven time and time again with the PlayStation. So this right here, to me, guys, is just a bad call. Imitating the competition when you don't have to, when you're the leader, is always going to be a bad move. You never see, you know, a company that's number one, you know, try to make a product that the competition is failing with, right? Or you know, I mean, it just, it doesn't make sense for them to, you know, make imitations of their competition when their legacy is making brand new IPs, making new games, new concepts, being the innovator in the industry when it comes to these kind of titles. I hope they change. I hope that the other games they present, you know, later this year, hopefully, are not going to be this bland or this lame, let me tell you. Because imitation for Sony is not going to be it. All right, humans, thank you for joining me this morning. I will see you sometime this weekend. I'll work on that video. It's a longer form video, and I'm going to finish the script for it tonight. It really deserves a better treatment because it's a lot more analytical than what I used to make, and this is what I'm gearing towards. I'm trying to get away from the commentary because I just don't have the bandwidth, you know, to talk about you know, Nick Calandra and the woke people and all that stuff. It's just not as interesting, and I'm spending more time with video games and enjoying them more, you know, now that I have limited time after school. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.